What if you had the power to control your emotions in any situation, whether at work, with family, or in the face of unexpected challenges? In today's video, we're diving into how you can master your emotions using Stoic philosophy. Emotional mastery isn't about ignoring how you feel. It's about transforming those feelings into strength and clarity. Stoic philosophers taught us that by controlling our reactions, we can find peace in life's most difficult moments. Today, I'll show you practical Stoicism techniques that will help you manage stress, let go of anger, and embrace emotional detachment. These strategies aren't just for reading in a daily Stoic book. They're tools you can use in your everyday life for personal growth and mindful living. If you're ready to learn how to gain control over your emotions and thrive, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and stick around. Together, we'll unlock the secrets of emotional mastery. 1. Reframe your mindset. The first step to mastering your emotions through Stoic philosophy is learning to reframe your mindset. One of the core principles of Stoicism is that it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you interpret it. Events in life are neutral. It's your perception that gives them power over you. Let's say you receive criticism at work. Your immediate reaction might be anger or frustration. However, according to the Stoic philosophy, these emotions don't come from the event itself. They come from your judgment of it. You decide how to feel about the situation. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In practical terms, this means that every negative situation you encounter can either control you or help you grow. The choice is yours. Instead of seeing criticism as an attack, try viewing it as an opportunity to learn and improve. This is emotional detachment at its best. Stoic philosophers teach us to separate ourselves from the emotion tied to the event and approach it with logic. Here's an example. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. Your natural response might be anger or irritation. But in Stoic philosophy, this is an opportunity to practice letting go. Can you control the driver's actions? No, but you can control how you respond. The ability to reframe this moment helps you avoid unnecessary stress. You choose peace over anger. And this is how Stoicism helps you find emotional balance in everyday life. So, how do you start reframing your mindset? It begins with awareness. Every time you feel a strong emotional reaction, stop for a moment and ask yourself, is this reaction helping me? Most times, you'll realize it's not. This pause gives you a chance to reinterpret the situation, taking power away from the emotion and putting it back in your hands. To make this part of your daily life, try journaling. At the end of each day, write down a situation where you reacted emotionally. Reflect on how you could have handled it differently using Stoic principles. Over time, this habit builds mental resilience, allowing you to detach from negative emotions and focus on what truly matters, your growth. Mastering your emotions is not about avoiding them. It's about understanding them and using them to your advantage. With Stoicism, you can transform every challenge into an opportunity for personal growth. 2. The power of the pause. One of the most powerful tools in Stoic philosophy is the ability to pause. Life throws countless situations at us, many of which trigger immediate emotional reactions. But it's in that split second between stimulus and response that you hold the power to control your emotions. Think about the last time you felt angry. Maybe someone made an unfair comment, or you faced an unexpected setback at work. Your first instinct might have been to snap, to react without thinking. But the Stoic philosophers teach us that the real strength comes in the pause. When you take that brief moment to breathe, to separate yourself from the situation, you gain clarity. This is how you control your response instead of letting emotions take over. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, believed that the pause is a way to reclaim your power. By pausing, you give yourself time to reflect and to choose how to act, instead of reacting impulsively. This simple practice leads to emotional freedom because you are no longer at the mercy of your immediate feelings. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine you're in the middle of a heated argument with a loved one. Words are flying, tempers are flaring, and emotions are running high. In that moment, you have a choice. Engage and fuel the fire, or pause. The pause gives you space to think about your next move. Instead of saying something you'll regret, you can step back, breathe, and respond with calmness. That is emotional mastery in action, using the pause to transform your emotional response. The same concept applies to stress. When you feel overwhelmed, instead of rushing to fix everything or letting anxiety take control, pause. In that stillness, you'll find clarity. The more you practice this, the more it becomes second nature. You'll start to realize that your emotional reactions don't have to dictate your day. You have the power to decide how you feel and how you respond. To practice this Stoic technique, start small. The next time you're frustrated, whether it's waiting in line, dealing with a difficult coworker, or feeling overwhelmed, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that you control your response. You'll notice that your initial emotional reaction will start to lose its grip. Over time, the pause becomes a habit, and with it, you gain more control over your emotions. In Stoicism, mastering the pause isn't just about avoiding negative emotions, it's about cultivating inner peace. By pausing, you create space for wisdom to guide your actions instead of being led by impulses. This is where real emotional freedom begins. 3. Emotional freedom through acceptance. One of the deepest lessons in Stoic philosophy is learning to accept what you can't control. This acceptance is not a sign of weakness, it's a source of strength. The more you let go of things beyond your reach, the more emotional freedom you gain. It's in this space that peace and clarity take root. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and you're running late for an important meeting. Frustration bubbles up and the stress feels overwhelming. What can you do? According to Stoic philosophers, this is where acceptance comes into play. You can't control the traffic, you can't make the cars move faster, but what you can control is how you react. Stoicism teaches us that we waste emotional energy by focusing on what we can't change. Instead, redirect that energy inward to your response. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that the traffic is neutral. It's not good or bad, it simply is. What matters is how you choose to handle it. This acceptance goes beyond everyday inconveniences. Think about the larger, more personal challenges in your life. Maybe you've faced a career setback, a relationship struggle, or a loss. These moments can be painful, but Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we can't always control the circumstances, we always control our reactions. Accepting life's ups and downs without resistance allows you to move forward without being weighed down by anger, frustration, or despair. Marcus Aurelius said it best: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength lies in emotional detachment. When you let go of what you can't control, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of life's unpredictable twists and turns. So how do you start practicing acceptance in your daily life? Begin with small steps. Whenever you encounter something outside your control, whether it's a canceled appointment, a delayed project, or an unexpected problem, pause and ask yourself, can I change this? If the answer is no, choose acceptance. This doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're conserving your emotional energy for things that truly matter, things within your control. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. Instead of reacting with frustration, you'll begin to feel a sense of calm, knowing that you've let go of what's out of your hands. Acceptance isn't passive. It's an active choice to find peace, regardless of the chaos around you. 4. Transform negative emotions into growth. Stoic philosophy teaches us that hardship and negative emotions aren't enemies, they're opportunities. Rather than avoiding pain, fear, or frustration, the Stoics believed in transforming these emotions into fuel for personal growth. It's not about ignoring how you feel, but about using those feelings to become stronger. Let's take fear as an example. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, but Stoicism shows us that fear can be a guide. Instead of running from what scares you, use fear as a signpost. Fear reveals areas in life where you're holding back or avoiding something important. In many ways, fear is an opportunity for growth. If you confront what you fear, you gain confidence and resilience. By turning toward fear, you shift from a place of avoidance to a place of action. Consider a challenging situation. Perhaps you're afraid of public speaking. Rather than letting that fear control you, face it head on. In the process, you'll grow, and over time, that fear loses its power. Stoic philosophers like Seneca believed that facing difficulties builds inner strength. It's through adversity that we develop the resilience to handle life's toughest moments. Anger works similarly. When something triggers anger, it's easy to get caught up in the emotion. But Stoicism teaches us to pause and ask, what is this anger telling me? Most often, anger arises because of unmet expectations or feeling out of control. Instead of lashing out, use that moment to learn more about yourself. What expectations can you adjust? What assumptions can you change? Turning inward to address the root of anger is how you begin to master it. One of the most powerful lessons from Stoicism is that every negative emotion can be transformed. Sadness, for example, can lead to reflection, which opens the door to self-discovery. When you experience loss or disappointment, it's natural to feel sad. But in that sadness is an opportunity to reassess what truly matters. What are your priorities? What lessons can you take from the experience? This is where Stoic philosophy shines, helping you turn even the darkest moments into stepping stones toward a better version of yourself. To start using this technique, practice reframing your emotions. The next time you feel something negative, stop and reflect. What can I learn from this? It won't change the situation, but it will change how you respond. This shift in perspective is what Stoics call emotional detachment, not ignoring emotions, but using them for growth. Embrace the idea that negative emotions are not roadblocks, but stepping stones. By transforming them, you're not just surviving, you're growing. 5. The practice of daily reflection. In Stoic philosophy, self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools for emotional mastery. The Stoics believed that reflecting on your thoughts, actions, and emotions is key to personal growth. By looking inward each day, you learn to identify emotional triggers, correct mistakes, and reinforce habits that lead to inner peace. Daily reflection isn't about dwelling on what went wrong, it's about understanding what you can improve. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, emphasized journaling as a way to track progress and keep your mind focused on what matters. Every night he would reflect on the day's events, asking himself what he could have done better. This simple habit of reviewing your emotions and reactions allows you to step back and see the bigger picture. Let's say you lost your temper with someone today. It happens to all of us, but instead of letting guilt or frustration take over, take a few minutes before bed to reflect. What caused your anger? Was it something beyond your control? Could you have responded differently? By asking these questions, you prepare yourself to handle similar situations with more patience and calm in the future. This practice of daily reflection doesn't have to be time-consuming. You can start with just 5 minutes. Grab a notebook or your phone and write down one emotional reaction you had today. Maybe you felt anxious in a meeting, irritated with a friend, or sad about a missed opportunity. Write about what happened, how you felt, and how you could have reframed the situation using Stoic philosophy. Over time, this practice builds emotional resilience. You become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, which gives you the ability to detach from them and respond more rationally. Daily reflection helps you see patterns in your behavior, patterns that can be changed if you're willing to look inward. Another benefit of this practice is that it creates a sense of closure at the end of each day. Instead of carrying the weight of the day's emotions into tomorrow, you release them by reflecting on what happened. You wake up with a clear mind, ready to approach new challenges without the baggage of unresolved emotions. So how can you incorporate this into your routine? Start by setting aside a specific time each day. Many people find it helpful to do this before bed, as it provides a quiet moment to reflect on the day. But the time doesn't matter as much as the consistency. The more often you reflect, the more emotionally grounded you'll feel. 6. Stoic path to overcoming envy. Envy is one of the most consuming emotions, and it can quietly take control of your mind. Stoic philosophy teaches that envy arises when we compare ourselves to others, focusing on what they have instead of appreciating our own journey. The problem with envy is that it distracts you from the progress you are making and pulls you into a cycle of negative thinking. But Stoic philosophers like Seneca remind us that true contentment comes from within. not from comparing our lives to others. In today's world, with social media constantly showing us snapshots of other people's successes, it's easy to feel left behind. Maybe you see a friend achieving a career milestone or someone buying a new home, and you wonder why you don't have the same. But in the eyes of the Stoics, these external things, wealth, status, possessions, are temporary. They don't bring lasting happiness. What truly matters is how you live your life and the virtues you cultivate. How can you use Stoicism to overcome envy? The first step is to focus on what is within your control, your thoughts and actions. You cannot control what others achieve or own, but you can control how you react to it. When you feel envy rising, pause and remind yourself of this Stoic truth. Happiness doesn't come from external things. It comes from living according to your values. Another powerful tool to combat envy is gratitude. Instead of looking outward and wishing for what others have, look inward and appreciate what you already possess. Take a moment to reflect on your journey, your progress, your strengths, and the things you've worked hard for. Practicing gratitude shifts your focus away from envy and toward personal fulfillment. The Stoics also believed in the impermanence of material wealth and status. Everything that can be taken away, money, possessions, fame, should not define your worth. What remains permanent are your values and virtues. Envy loses its power when you realize that true happiness is not tied to external things, but to inner peace and personal growth. To put this into practice, try a gratitude exercise whenever envy creeps in. Write down 3 things you are grateful for each day. Over time, you'll notice a shift in your mindset. You'll begin to focus less on what others have and more on the abundance in your own life. This simple practice helps you find peace in your path. Remember, envy is a distraction. When you let go of comparing yourself to others, you open the door to personal growth and lasting contentment. 7. Strategies for building patience. Patience is a virtue that many struggle with, especially in today's fast-paced world. But Stoic philosophy teaches that patience is not just about waiting calmly, it's about aligning your expectations with reality. The Stoics understood that impatience often comes from an unrealistic desire to control things that are beyond our reach. When we expect the world to move at our pace, we set ourselves up for frustration. But by accepting life's natural flow, we cultivate patience. Let's break this down with a simple example. Imagine you're stuck in a long line at the grocery store. Your first instinct might be to get irritated or impatient, thinking about how much time you're losing. But what if you approach this moment with Stoic patience? Instead of focusing on the inconvenience, shift your mindset. Ask yourself, can I control how fast this line moves? The answer is no. You can only control how you respond to the situation. This acceptance of what you cannot control is a fundamental Stoic practice. One powerful strategy to build patience is the Stoic technique of premeditation of evils. This involves mentally preparing yourself for things that might go wrong during your day, traffic, delays, or misunderstandings. By expecting these challenges, you won't be caught off guard when they happen. Instead, you'll be ready to handle them with calm and patience. This doesn't mean expecting the worst, but rather preparing your mind for life's inevitable obstacles. Another key to cultivating patience is practicing empathy. In Stoic philosophy, empathy plays a vital role in understanding the behavior of others. When someone is slow to respond to a task or a colleague delays a project, impatience can quickly arise. But if you take a moment to step into their shoes, you might realize they are dealing with their struggles. Understanding that everyone has their challenges helps you extend patience and reduces frustration. To build patience further, practice slowing down. In today's fast-paced world, we're often rushing from one task to the next. But slowing down, even for a few minutes each day, helps train your mind to be more patient. Whether it's taking a moment to pause before responding to an email or driving a little slower on your commute, these small acts of patience add up over time. The Stoics also taught that patience isn't passive. It's an active choice to remain calm in the face of adversity. By practicing these strategies daily, you'll begin to see a shift in how you handle life's delays and frustrations. Patience becomes less of a struggle and more of a habit. 8. Stoic courage in the face of adversity. Courage is often associated with acts of bravery, but in Stoic philosophy, true courage is much deeper. It's not just about facing physical danger, it's about confronting your inner fears, doubts, and the emotional struggles that life throws at you. The Stoics believe that courage is essential for a meaningful life because adversity is inevitable. The question isn't whether you will face challenges, it's how you will respond to them. When life hits you with unexpected challenges, a job loss, a health issue, or a personal setback, the first reaction might be fear or panic. But the Stoics teach us that courage is about staying grounded and rational, even in the face of uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. This means that no matter what happens externally, you always have the strength within to handle it. Think about a time when you faced adversity. Maybe you were dealing with a difficult situation at work or in a personal relationship. What got you through it? It wasn't the circumstances that changed, it was your mindset. Courage, according to the Stoics, is about embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of fearing the unknown, they saw adversity as a way to strengthen character. One way to practice Stoic courage is to confront small fears every day. Start with something manageable, whether it's having a tough conversation you've been avoiding or tackling a task you've been putting off. By facing small fears regularly, you build the mental resilience to handle bigger challenges. This practice aligns with the Stoic belief that courage is not a one-time act, but a habit you cultivate over time. Another aspect of Stoic courage is the acceptance of things beyond your control. It takes courage to let go of outcomes you cannot influence. When you accept that certain things are out of your hands, you free yourself from unnecessary worry. This allows you to focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Stoic philosophers also believed in the power of reflection to build courage. By reflecting on past experiences where you showed strength, you reinforce the idea that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Every act of courage, no matter how small, prepares you for future challenges. It's through these moments of reflection that you see your growth and resilience. In the end, courage is not about being fearless. It's about moving forward despite the fear. Stoic philosophy teaches us that courage is rooted in accepting life's uncertainties and trusting in your ability to handle them. The next time you face adversity, remember that your strength lies not in avoiding challenges, but in meeting them head-on. Mastering your emotions isn't about eliminating how you feel. It's about transforming those emotions into strength, peace, and resilience. Stoic philosophy gives us the tools to navigate life's challenges with clarity and calm, allowing us to grow stronger from every experience. Whether it's reframing your mindset, practicing patience, or finding courage in adversity, these lessons are practical steps toward emotional freedom. If you found these insights helpful, take a moment to reflect on how you can apply them in your own life. Start small, be consistent, and you'll notice the difference. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content on Stoicism and mastering your emotions. Together, we can continue this journey toward personal growth and inner peace. Leave a comment below and let me know which Stoic practice resonated with you the most. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we dive deeper into the power of Stoic philosophy in everyday life.